Hi everyone. So a year ago, 1 year ago, first week of January last year, I think I was actually on my way from Colorado in the Magnum, which was our first official project on our YouTube channel, like car project. And I was coming back to Alabama to do woodworking projects under my carport that was sitting right over there. And since then, 1 year later, we've moved the carport over here, and we have a video for that. We've finished the carport out and put sides on it and made it into a building. We poured concrete inside of it so that we had a garage floor, and we've converted this into a shop where we shoot our YouTube videos on our car projects. So I was like, you know, so much has changed in the last year. What's gonna change this year? And I thought, you know, I need to document for myself what we have and where we're currently at, because next year I might not even remember where we were at the beginning of this year. So that's what this video is. This video is for me and for you, so we can see where we started at the first week, the beginning of 2023, and really the first day of 2023, because the only thing that's changed since January 1st is a lot of cleaning and some organization that we did inside the shop. So I think we're gonna head in the shop and we're gonna check out what we've got, where we're at, what we've done, and what our plans are for the year. After we get done looking around the shop, we're gonna look around the yard and look at all the projects that we've got pieces of and parts for and project vehicles, and just kind of get an idea of what our plans are for the year and what we want to work on, and kind of get an idea and an order of what we're gonna do them in. So welcome to our, I'm gonna call it our clean and organized shop, because while it's not perfectly organized and it's definitely not perfectly clean, this is by far the best condition this has been in since we moved all of this stuff in here. We've got parts and stuff kind of everywhere, but in a somewhat organized fashion, and we have open floor space. We've got enough room that we can get 2 cars in here and work on both of them at the same time, along with, right now, with the exception of our small pile that we have to take to storage, we could drive a car in here and get it on the lift, which is working and we'll be using very soon on a project. But we've got our scrap area, which is just, I'm a pack rat and I can't stand to throw stuff away. So if I put it in buckets, I'm saving it for scrap, and it makes me feel better. We've got our TIG welder that we're still learning how to use efficiently. And actually, we're gonna teach Amber how to use it in the upcoming year, because she has some stuff that she wants to make for her Jeep, and I don't want to make it, she wants to make it. So we're going to teach her how to use the welder and the cutting torches, which are right here, so that she can make her own parts for her Jeep. We've got our sandblast cannon. I just brought this back from Colorado, and this is really helpful because I've got a bunch of engines tore apart and stuff like that, and I like to take the bolts and just kind of recondition them, bolts out of multiple engines. But if I recondition them, then if I need a bolt and I have them separated out, then I can go find what I need. If I need a valve cover bolt, I can go find a valve cover bolt. If I need an oil pan bolt, I can go find a oil pan bolt. So that's my plans for this in the near future. And we probably won't video all that because that's not going to be a very interesting video. I might make a video on the process that I plan to go through. If you guys are interested, leave a comment below.
But we will be videoing me learning how to weld, so that'll be fun.
We've got our bandsaw, and this is kind of a tool and a project because I need to get the cooling system hooked up on this. It'll help the blades last a lot longer and it'll cut a lot better. But before I can do that, I've got to fix the cover back here, because when you try to open this cover hits, and then also the hold open cylinder doesn't work right. So I've got some work that I need to do on this, and I might make a video on it. I haven't really decided yet, but if you want to see that, leave a comment below so I know. Grinder, drill press, shock press with our press brake. And then this is the bench that we got out of that the garage sale or garage buyout that we did, and it came with a full porta power set. And then this is what we've been working on the last week. All of these are organized. These three are not, but all the rest of these are fairly well organized so that if I need a part, I can find it. I hope not to have to use this drawer too much this year, but you never know. And then we've got all the shelving that I built, and it's kind of a mess right now, but we're working on getting it organized, but we just can't spend any more time organizing and cleaning because we need to get back to work or we're never going to get anything done this year. We're going to spend the rest of the year organizing. That's just a little bit to finish up over here. Now we've got our kind of our workbench table that this is the table that I sit at most of the time during the lives and everything else. And I do want to make this into a welding table, and I plan to make it a little bit shorter and put some type of metal top on it. So look for a video on that sometime this year as I'm able to. One thing that I wanted to point out, and I'm really proud of how this turned out. So this is all of my DeWalt cordless tools with the exception of my impact, which is currently in my car because I take it with me whenever I travel. But I got these little things off of Amazon, and I was able to get all of my DeWalt tools in this one little area here, and I have a charging area down here. I have a charger for my Streamlight flashlight over here. All of the keys to everything are in there. And I'm really happy with how this area of the shop is turning out. And I built all these cabinets and everything, so I was able to build them exactly like I wanted them to be built.
These are the awesome cups that we got for Christmas. Thank you, Amanda.
I have one just like it, except it's a little bit bigger and says Travis.
That way he can't steal my cup.
And then here's one of our areas that's not organized. It's just a disaster. We're going to work on that a little bit at a time, but down here we have all the parts, or some of the parts, for the CJ7 build that's actually going to be the next one coming in the shop. And then there's more CJ7 parts over there, some more scrap wiring over there in my toolbox. And then if you haven't seen the video on our lift, we have a lift. It's just a little 2-post lift, but I think it's going to work great, and it's going to make it a lot easier for when we're doing stuff on the underside of a car to film it and show you guys what we're trying to do and maybe give you some tips and some pointers along the way. We do have to get a couple of things before we can use it too much. I don't have any of the underlift jacks, like the big tall jack stands, dead man jack or whatever they call them, because I don't want to get a car up in the air and be under it until we have a way to make it safe so it doesn't tip off the lift.
And that's a new development this week, something we should have done a year ago.
And that's just some cheap hooks from Harbor Freight. And then these hooks I made out of some straps. They're like hurricane straps for house. And I just cut them up and bent them up to hold all of our creepers over there. So I'm tired of having to walk through here like I'm ready to mount a skateboard when it's dark, because you never know if you're going to step on a creeper. So I got them all over there. They're all hung up. When I need one, I can find it, and I don't have to worry about stepping on one in the dark. And then this is another project that's coming up very soon. This is the 47 RH transmission we went to Memphis and bought, and I'm gonna kind of build this. It's not gonna be like an all-out racing transmission build. I just want to build a good stout transmission that I don't have to worry about to put in our white pickup our haul truck that we use for. We need a name for that truck. We just call it the white truck. But that's not a very original name. I guess we could call it the white truck. Anyway, that we're going to build for that truck so that we don't have to worry about it. And also it's going to have lockup so that, one, it'll run cooler, and two, I think it's going to help the fuel mileage out quite a bit when we're towing to different events and stuff. And speaking of events, if you haven't heard, they've announced the dates for No Name Nationals. September 21st through the 24th, we'll be in Sikeston, Missouri, and we're taking extra parts back. This time, we're not taking an untested truck that we don't know if it'll make a pass. We plan to take it to the truck gathering, which is another event we're going to go to, and that's in Oklahoma. I believe it's in Norman, Oklahoma, in April, and I don't know the dates, but if you check it out, we'll put a link in the description, or we'll put the dates in the description, but we're going to take that there. It's just a show. It's not a race or anything like that, and in fact, we're going to take extra parts in its current condition with the what has it got? 276 gears with a sure grip and the street tires and everything. It's just gonna go, it's just like a cruise event and then a show, and we're gonna take it like it is so that we can start gathering up parts. When we get back from that, we're gonna dig in deep and try to get the truck ready to go to the drag strip, hopefully sometime in May. And so we have plenty of time to sort through any problems so we can actually go to No Name Nationals and maybe get some racing done this year. But more to come on that. Just a quick preview. We're going to put a 9-inch in it, and I have a drive shaft down there buried in the back. It's a 1410 U-joints out of a Cummins. That's what's going to be in the truck, and I don't see any way that we'll ever break that. So, but look for a 9-inch build, and I have some other plans that goes along with that when we get ready to do that as well.
For the new subscribers to the channel, we will show you the truck when we go outside, and Thrasher.
So this is just more parts. It's just a bunch of parts. It's an extra 440 block that's board 30 ready to go. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but it's fresh board, so I wanted to keep it inside. And then this is my woodworking stuff, and 2 more shelves of I don't know what to do with. On this shelf, we have parts for we're going to do a disc brake conversion on extra parts and just use some Chevy calipers, but that's down the road.
A lot of this was stuff we got in that garage, including the shelves. So
Yep.
we just need to organize it.
So that's a tour of our garage and our shop and what we currently have and what our plans are, kind of a little bit of plans for the future. We don't have a lot of plans for the shop. Our plan for the shop is to get some work done. And the work that we're going to do is on all these cars that we have parked out here, and then cars and vehicles, because some of them aren't actually cars. But we're going to walk outside and we'll start with stuff that's been on the channel, and then we'll show you some stuff that hasn't been on the channel. So here we have our 1990 Dodge pickup we call extra parts. It's big block powered with an automatic. It's kind of we're making it into a drag and drive type of vehicle, and right now it's a drive type of vehicle because it can't get traction. Every time it gets traction, it breaks the drive shaft. So we have plans to fix that, but like I said before, for right now, we're just got it in its current condition. It runs and drives good, and we're going to take it to Oklahoma for that truck show. And we're probably going to trailer it most of the way. I don't know exactly what the plan there is yet, but we will be driving it into the event because you have to. So, other plans for this truck this year, I do want to build a fiberglass front bumper for it because I hate the way it looks. I don't know if I'm going to try to build a fiberglass roll pan for the back or if I'm just going to buy one. They're not that expensive. Not fiberglass, it'd be metal if I buy it, but I don't know. I haven't decided what I want to do there yet. I do want to try to get a roll bar, at least a roll bar installed in this before No Name Nationals, because if we can get it to run right, I plan on spraying this with 150 shot, and I think that we will be going fast enough at that point that we probably need to have the roll bar. I don't currently have any way to bend up a roll bar, and I don't really want to buy one because I don't really like the way they fit. I don't know if that's going to happen or not, but hopefully. All right, so let's go look at our daily driver vehicles that are going to be on the channel quite a bit this year. Here we have my 93 Dodge D250 that we call the white truck. It has a 12-valve Cummins with a VE pump and a, right now, 46 RH transmission. This is the one that I plan on building a 47 RH for. And actually, I said that I was going to rebuild the 47 RH I have in there, but my actual plan is to take another 47 RE that I have and see if I can convert it into a 47 RH to put in here, and then I'll have an extra one. If it doesn't work out, I have the 47 RH that I can put in here, but I believe that I can convert that 47 RE into a 47 RH if I can find all the right parts. Other than that, plans for this truck are just to keep it running. Don't have a lot of problems with it, but we do put a lot of miles on it, and we plan on putting a lot more on it, pulling that big race car trailer this year, so we need to make sure we keep this in good shape.
And this is a truck we just converted to Hydro Boost, so yay brakes.
And then over here we have my 2005 Dodge Magnum that for the last month I've been saying I was gonna sell it, but I don't know if I want to. I really like this car. I've always wanted a Magnum. This one's, it's in good shape, but it's in bad shape. Like, the interior's nice, the car runs good, it drives good, but I don't like doing body work, and this needs a lot of just little body work. It doesn't need major stuff, but it's pretty chipped up, and that's the biggest reason that I was talking about selling it, is because in order to make it really nice, it's going to need to be repainted, and I just don't know if I have that in me, but we'll see. If I do keep it, look for a rear-wheel drive swap. It's all-wheel drive now, and I don't want to deal with trying to beef up the all-wheel drive system. I'd rather just make it rear-wheel drive. We live in Alabama. The actually needing the all-wheel drive is almost never going to happen, and it really limits on what you can do to them. It makes the suspension tougher, and then also if you do any modifications to the engine, the transfer case is the weak point in these cars if you get the transmission fixed. So if you guys want to see a all-wheel drive to rear-wheel drive swap, let me know so that I know that this is something that I should keep and make a video on. Over here we have Amber's Jeep Tonks, and my plan for the year on this is to ignore it.
No.
Well, why don't you tell me what we're doing to this year?
Okay, so first of all, for Christmas, he gave me a job. And that job is he's going to get the materials and basically walk me through welding so I can build custom front and rear bumpers. And I also want to do fenders, and I want to do like the metal that comes straight out and then has a curved edge. Running boards could be nice, maybe tube doors, but that's probably not going to happen this year. I don't know, maybe I'll be feeling really motivated. Other than that, we had talked about Hemi swapping it at one point, but right now it's just not in the cards. But eventually, because it has 215,000 miles on it, so it's going to need something. So for right now, though, it's going to be pretty much purely aesthetics, custom fabbing accessories. That's the plan for the Jeep.
Also needs a lift kit.
Oh yeah, for sure. Probably before we go four-wheeling again, it needs a lift kit. So, and then when we do go four-wheeling, we'll take videos on those and everything, so it'll be fun.
All right, so that's pretty much, well, we've got one more that's been on the channel, so we'll walk over here. We also still have the Mustang, and I feel like it would be better to go to a home for somebody who really wants a Mustang. I don't really want a Mustang. If for some reason everything else gets done and we still have this, I will work on it, because I have some crazy ideas, and that's the problem, is my ideas are crazy, and if I work on this, it's going to turn into a major project. The idea of building it is cool until I start thinking about the work, and it would be fun. I just think it would be better to go to somebody who really wants to build a Mustang, and then they could finish it and have the motivation to get it done.
But trying to find more and rescue more abandoned vehicles like this one is on our list for 2023, if they come up.
That wasn't the one that's been on the channel that I wanted to talk about. We just walked by it and I thought maybe I should say something. So the last one that's been on the channel, and it's been quite a while since it was on the channel, is my boat. And I haven't forgot about it, I just kind of haven't had time to mess with it. So this boat is rough. It's bad rough. And I honestly, I overpaid for it. I paid way too much for it, but I don't want to get rid of it. I really like the lines of the boat, and it's the perfect size for what I want to do. I need to get it in and get the trim fixed on the motor, because currently we took it to the water and water tested it, never made it on the channel, but because the trim was locked up, I couldn't get it to set the front down so it could get out of the water. I think the motor runs good, but I just need to do some more work to this, and I just haven't had time. But I want to go fishing this year, so I need to get this out. If I'm going fishing this year, I've only got about a month and a half before I need to be ready to go out there. And if I work on it, it'll be on the channel. All I really plan on doing is fixing the floor, fixing the transom, and getting the motor running right. And I don't even know if I'm going to make it pretty this year. I'll probably just make it fishable, get the floor done. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. I thought it was going to be a winter project, and then this winter turned into a disaster with all kinds of stuff going on, and I haven't had time to mess with it. But I'd really like to get this put together so I can go fishing this year. And this is kind of my hobby, not really part of the channel. It's just something I might do some videos on as I work on it. And then we have two cars that are our most recent purchases, and
His and hers 300s.
no. No, absolutely not. So one of these is a parts car. Current plans are that one's the parts car. And what the plan is, it runs, but the transmission is bad. This one is supposed to have a bad starter, but I somehow I doubt that it has a bad starter. I think it's got a bad motor. So I plan on putting the motor out of that one and this one, getting it running good, cleaning it all up, and then rehoming it. I don't, well, this was going to be the replacement for the Magnum. And I've always wanted one of these, but now that I have them, I don't know if I want them worse than I want the Magnum. So I don't know. I'm all confused. I can't make my mind up. But for right now, I'm going to get it running and I'm going to drive it and see what I think about it. And potentially keep the 300 and sell the Magnum, or keep the Magnum and sell the 300, and whatever the parts from whichever one ends up being the parts car. Because if I end up keeping one, I want to keep the black one, not the red one, because I don't like red cars. I really don't like black cars either, but I like red less. So the black one needs a lot more body work, but my plan there was, if I have an entire body, I can panel paint it and transfer it to the black one. Then I only have to worry about the back half of the black one being painted as a one piece. I could paint the rest of this one piece at a time and kind of put it on a shelf or whatever until I get ready to swap it over. But
either way, 2 cars are going to become 1.
And last, but actually first, is piece of Jeep. Our 84 CJ7 that we just got to do the final buffing on. It's done. It just needs to be buffed out. Then we're going to go 4-wheeling. But seriously, this is our next project. And I just want to say thank you to everybody who subscribed. And if you've watched this far and you haven't subscribed, please do. We're almost at 1,000. As soon as we hit 1,000, we're going to do a live and give away some merch. We don't have a lot left. We don't actually have merch. We just had some stuff that we put together to take to No Name Nationals, and we have a couple of hats left and I think a shirt or two. But as soon as we get to 1,000, we're going to do a live and have random drawing and give all that stuff away. So keep an eye out for that and look forward to what we can figure out and create and buy in 2023. See you soon.